Welcome back to Local Garden Queens. I'm going to do a tour of the garden today. Not going to take too long. Now before I begin, I have to apologize for airplane noise because there is going to be some. Again, I wasn't able to film early in the morning today. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, rush hour, and same goes for the airplanes apparently. So again, I apologize, and let's go ahead with the tour. Let's take a look at the comfrey. Doing great. Earlier this morning, I picked up some cut grass and I mulched it on top of the beds. I love the way it looks. It looks very neat. Also, it's been about a week since I cleaned up the garden and used the peas and weeds, the pea plants and weeds as mulch. Let's come in here and take a look. So you see, as I move the grass a little bit, you see the pea plants, they've all dried up since, and you can see the compost underneath. And I don't know if you can see, there's bugs crawling around. In the cooler, dark environment where it's moist, which is a good sign. Those bugs are going to break things down and the plants are going to feed off whatever's broken down. So let's start here. These are the dill plants. It's going to bud out soon. Well, I guess it's budding out already. It's beginning. All right, it's going to flower not too long from now. You can see there's a flower heads forming. Here we have the zucchini plants, or plant. In the previous video I kept mentioning this was zucchini, but now that I think about it, I think it's actually cucumber that I planted. But I guess I'll see as time goes on, hopefully if it produces. And we have the eggplant over on the side here. Now in the back trellises, we have cucumbers. We have the cucumbers here. They're not looking super healthy. You see some of the leaves are having some trouble. They're a little light, a little yellowish. You can see the veins on them. We'll see if they're able to recover. Walking past here is the cilantro. It's making seed. It's pretty much finished flowering. It's kind of all over the place. I'm just going to let it seed out. It'll probably drop the seeds in the same place, and more cilantro will come of it later on. These cucumbers are looking better and even making flowers. So obviously I'll keep updating and we'll see how it turns out. Over here I have some mint that's going to flower. And let's go to the other part of the garden. Here we have the zucchini, the yellow squash. They're looking pretty healthy, starting to make new leaves in the center there. And this one is actually making flowers, but the plant looks pretty small. I don't know if it's going to be able to sustain a fruit if they do form. We have kale here. Of course, more cilantro being supported by one of the trellises. You can see it's leaning over, and if it wasn't for this string here, it would most likely fall over. We have the green onion beds, some more green onion and kale, and down here underneath the cilantro, some more kale, along with the green onion, and of course the Cuban oregano that I kind of partially buried a little bit, but that's all right. This thing is like a weed once it gets going. The only downside is you can't take freezing temperatures, but that's okay because I don't want the garden to be overtaken by the Cuban oregano. Here we have regular oregano, or common oregano, I guess, and it's flowering. Also the fennel producing flowers. And of course, the jalapeno plant. Looking great. Looking very healthy. You can see the jalapenos forming. More flowers. You see something's been eating the leaves, but it's definitely not causing enough damage to slow the plant. And if we walk on over to the currants, last week I mentioned the currants had like a bright orange band on it to signal to the gardeners that we're doing some work here not to cut it. And you can see the gardeners took a chunk of this bush out. The plants in front of the currants are dying out from the summer heat. Their roots, so I mean they're not gonna die, but the actual tops are dying off. I think I'm gonna have to come in here and clean this up, chop off the dried up leaves, and I'm probably just gonna mulch the currants underneath. So since everything is open, you could see what it looks like under the currants. If I dig a little here. So originally I placed down mulch, and underneath that mulch it was a whole bunch of food scraps, you know, and everything must have been maybe a couple of inches thick, and as you can see it pretty much disappeared. It doesn't take long for everything to be broken down. As far as the currant berries on here, they're pretty much gone. There were some here, and there's still a few hanging here that I'm gonna pick off. But other than that, that's it for the currant harvest this year. These were the first currants the plant produced, and I'm looking forward to more currants next year. The plant looks very healthy. I'm pretty happy with it. So let's walk back to the beginning of the tour as we go past the jalapeno pepper plant, the garden beds here, the roses that are done blooming for now, the mint, and the other beds here. It's been a week since I cleaned everything up. The plants, not too much is happening. I'm gonna give it some more time. Hopefully they get going. And we'll see what happens in the next update. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments, and I'll see you next week.